were founded in 1881 in the basement of Big Bethel AME Church. Big Bethel AME Church was the first black church of Atlanta. Our school is named for Bishop Morris Brown, who was the second bishop of the AME Church. He was given credit for having one of the first mega churches in the nation. As a slave, he was taught to read. Of course, back in that day, even if you were caught with a book, it was something you could lose your life for. So instead of him just sitting on this gift and this blessing of being educated, what he did was he would sneak the slaves off the plantation into the woods, teaching them how to read the Bible. In doing so, he had over 3,000 slaves that would walk from the surrounding states to congregate with his congregation. Word got back to the white folks that he was educating slaves. They didn't like that, so they wanted to kill him. One of the things that happened in the midst of them searching for Morris Brown to lynch him was the Denmark-Vesey conspiracy, Nat Turner revolt. All these things were attached to them trying to search for Morris Brown. So what they did, there's an old myth that said they packed Morris Brown up in a box like he was a piece of mail, and they shipped him to Philadelphia. When in Philadelphia, he met Richard Allen. After that, he became the second bishop of the AME Church, and we named our school in 1881 after Bishop Morris Brown. He was long dead and gone before we named our school after him, but it was because of his passion, his vision to educate his people, even if it meant his life, that we named our school Morris Brown.
Boy, while I attended Morris Brown College, I was shown a lot of love by members of the faculty, the staff, the student body, the fellowship that I enjoyed while attending Morris Brown College. I really miss, and my children reminded me when I returned to Atlanta to be a pastor in 2004 that they really missed going to the football games, because we had a lot of fun going to Herndon Stadium for homecoming, the outstanding band at Morris Brown College that performed during the parade and also during the halftime celebrations. So there's a lot that I miss about the way Morris Brown used to be, and so I can just thank the people, the culture, the band, the football team, the alumni, the student body, people walking, the campus with 2,000 students. I really miss that, but I have all confidence that we will recover and even be stronger than ever.
I think great things will happen at this institution in the near future. Me personally, I feel like the way we change Morris Brown is by each individual coming in, putting a helping hand and making a difference up here on this Morris Brown campus. So it ain't all up to T-Mo Goody, it ain't all up to any other artist or any other person that people may see that's very wealthy and they can help Morris Brown financially. It's about Morris Brownites coming back up here and making a difference, hands-on.
I think, when you look at the city of Atlanta as a whole, of course, Morris Brown, as I stated earlier, kind of sort of plays the bottom role to Morehouse and Clark Atlanta, as well as Spelman. But like I said, a lot of people don't realize, and some people do, Morris Brown was founded by blacks for blacks. And I think, unfortunately, I think a lot of people look at it with it being founded by blacks. We can't be as successful as these other institutions that might have had, white individuals that had, part of, their organization being well or whatever, the school. So I think, a lot of times Morris Brown had to take the back seat to that. But at the end of the day, when you look at it, Morris Brown is just as powerful as any institution of higher learning in Atlanta, Georgia. And, just to say that I went to Morris Brown, I think, that it's just a blessing in itself. So I'm very proud of the institution. And I think some people have their opinions. Everybody's entitled to their opinions, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. And I think, Morris Brown can definitely strive. It'll definitely come back full throttle. And I think in life you go through challenges or whatever to make you a better person. So I think this is definitely an experience. And as far as the perception of Morris Brown, for those that really truly believe that Morris Brown will climb back on top, I'm with those people. It will climb back on top.
I feel that a lot of the perspectives that a lot of individuals give to school, I feel like they kind of give it, they try to push it on the back burner. Of course, a lot of the institutions out there that they know of it in Atlanta, Georgia, they kind of put them up there. But I just think personally, Morris Brown is a very strong institution. It's not just one of those institutions that you go in, you know, and they want you to act a certain way. Because I remember when I was applying for colleges that you had to look a certain way.
Or they tried to sell the college.
They tried to sell the college.
They tried to sell the college on the celebrities that were going. You know
that
what I
was
mean?
donated.
Right. You know, that's they try to, well, oh, Spike Lee does this, or this person did this, or whatever. But at the end of the day, you're not going to college based on celebrities. You're going to college for an education. And the one thing that I did, I have to say, is that Morris Brown accepted you. They didn't really, you know, they paid attention to your ACT scores and SAT scores, but it was not the highlight of you getting into college. Yeah. I think, you know, everybody's not great test takers, you know.
Right.
And I think if you could balance out great academic performance in the classroom in high school and still go to this great institution and come out well, you know, I think, you know, we're both living witnesses. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say that I came into Morris Brown fresh out of high school with a 4.0 GPA. It definitely didn't happen. And my SAT scores were but you know, they weren't nothing to brag about. But going to Morris Brown definitely prepared me to go, you know, to an Ivy League school, Columbia University in New York City. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, Morris Brown has just as a powerful curriculum. You know, they strive for positive academic performance just as well as any other institution. So Morris Brown prepares the students just as well.
I think I definitely agree with him on that, because like I was saying, I remember when you apply for a school, there used to be times where you had to send your picture to those institutions, and they would judge you to see, okay, does this person fit that profile to be a part of our institution? Morris Brown, they accept you for who you are, what you can carry. I mean, if you can, you know, they accept you, and I think that's what a lot of it is about. I mean, it teaches you that in life as well, that life is also about acceptance and accepting a person for who they are. You know, your grades might be 2.5. I'm not gonna sit up there and say I had a 3.0 or a 4.0 when I was in high school. But when you get into Morris Brown, they're the type of institution I think that will work with you, and they feel like, okay, if his grades aren't up to par right now, when he get out of school, his grades are gonna be up there.
And student support services is definitely one of the programs that definitely, you know, student support services at Morris Brown, they definitely prepare, because we both were in student support services, and they definitely prepared us both, you know, to strive well academically, and it's been wonderful ever since. So, I mean, I'm proud to say I'm an honor student out of Morris Brown. I graduated, you know, with a 3.8 GPA, and to get accepted, like I said earlier, into an Ivy League school, you know, it's just a blessing in a sense. So yes, Morris Brown definitely prepared me well, and I wouldn't change it for that.
We want everyone to know that Morris Brown College is open. Yeah. There are a lot of misconceptions about what's going on with the school right now. We are actually in a rebuilding phase. There are a lot of misconceptions about accreditation. A lot of people feel that if you're an unaccredited institution, you cannot function, which is false.
Right.
Our students are still able to go to graduate school. They're still able to get jobs. Because we're unaccredited, which basically means we don't have federal funding.
Right. Financial aid.
Financial aid. That's basically what affects a school such as Morris Brown College. It does not mean that your degree is not valid. It does not mean that you cannot get a job. Okay? That's false. At the end of the day, how many people are asking you to bring your degree to your interview for a job? Okay? So at the end of the day, it's about our students being in a position to sell themselves. At the end of the day, you have to sell yourself. What did you learn in school? Did you even go through the experience of being in college? So that's what we're trying to teach our students. Because we're unaccredited, our tuition is only $3,500 a semester. That's a plug.
That's right.
Okay? We still get a valid education. We still have some of the top educators in the nation.
Yes.
Small classroom sizes. We're a family here.
Yes.
Even when we had 2,700 students, Morris Brown College was a family. We pride ourselves in knowing that we are the only institution in the state of Georgia founded by blacks, for blacks. 35 acres. Our ancestors put blood, sweat, and tears in what you are visiting today. And we're trying to do what we can to make it survive.